The return. The woman in red. The grand ballroom of the Sterling Hotel sparkled with 1,000 lights. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling like frozen waterfalls. Wealthy guests in expensive clothes laughed and drank champagne. Tonight was special. Ethan Cross, the most powerful billionaire in the city, was celebrating his engagement to Victoria Stone, a famous model. But the party was about to change forever. Maya Richards stepped out of a black car. Her red dress hugged her body perfectly. Her dark hair fell in waves down her back. 5 years ago, she was a shy girl who worked in a flower shop. Tonight, she was a woman who owned her own company. A woman who had survived the worst pain of her life. A woman who had come back for revenge. She walked through the hotel doors. Her high heels clicked on the marble floor. Every head turned to look at her. She smiled, but her eyes were cold as ice. The memory that never faded. 5 years ago, Maya stood in a white wedding dress. The church was full of flowers. Roses, lilies, everything beautiful. 200 guests sat in the wooden pews, waiting for the ceremony to begin. Maya's hands shook as she held her bouquet. She was marrying Ethan Cross, the man she loved more than anything in the world. They had met 2 years before at a coffee shop. Ethan was different then. He smiled more. He laughed. He would hold her hand and tell her she was his whole world. When he asked her to marry him on a beach at sunset, she cried happy tears. She thought she was the luckiest woman alive. On the wedding day, Maya waited in a small room at the back of the church. Her mother helped fix her veil. "You look beautiful, sweetheart," her mother said, wiping away tears. Then the music started. Maya's father took her arm. They walked down the aisle together. Everyone stood and watched her. But when she reached the altar, something was wrong. Ethan wasn't there. The priest looked confused. The guests began to whisper. Maya stood there, her heart pounding. Where was he? Minutes passed. Then an hour. Finally, Ethan's assistant came to her. His face was pale. "Miss Richards, I'm so sorry. Mr. Cross had to leave. He can't go through with the wedding." Maya felt like the floor had disappeared under her feet. "What? Why? Where is he?" He didn't say. "I'm very sorry." That was it. No explanation. No phone call. Nothing. Ethan Cross had left her standing at the altar in front of everyone she knew. The whispers became loud talking. People stared at her with pity. Some even laughed. Maya ran out of the church, still in her wedding dress. Tears ruined her makeup. Her mother ran after her, but Maya just wanted to disappear. For weeks, she tried to call Ethan. His phone was disconnected. She went to his office, but security wouldn't let her in. It was like he had erased her from his life completely. The pain almost destroyed her. But slowly, the pain turned into something else. Anger. Determination. Maya made herself a promise. One day, she would make him feel the same pain he gave her. The new Maya. The 5 years changed Maya completely. She took the small amount of money she had saved and started a business. She worked day and night, learning everything about real estate and investments. She was smart and bold. Her company grew fast. But Maya had another plan. She researched everything about Ethan's company, Cross Enterprises. She studied every contract, every deal, every partnership. And then she found it, a loophole. A legal mistake from years ago that meant she technically owned 45% of his company. Before their wedding, Ethan had put her name on some documents. He said it was to show he trusted her. He said they would build their future together. Those documents were still valid. Ethan had forgotten about them, but Maya hadn't. She spent years quietly buying shares and securing her position. She hired the best lawyers. She made sure everything was perfect. And now, finally, she was ready. Walking into the lion's den, Maya entered the ballroom. A waiter offered her champagne. She took it and looked around. The room was full of rich, powerful people. They were all here to celebrate Ethan's new engagement. And there he was. Ethan Cross stood near the center of the room. He was even more handsome than she remembered. His black suit fit him perfectly. His dark hair was styled back. His strong jaw and deep blue eyes made him look like he belonged on a magazine cover. Next to him stood Victoria Stone. Tall, blonde, perfect. Maya's heart beat faster, but not from love. From anger. From the need to make him pay. She walked straight toward them. People moved out of her way. Some recognized her and gasped. Others just stared at her beauty. Ethan was laughing at something Victoria said. Then his friend James touched his arm and pointed at Maya. Ethan turned. His face went completely white. The champagne glass in his hand almost fell. For a moment he couldn't speak. He just stared at her like he was seeing a ghost. "Hello, Ethan," Maya said. Her voice was calm and strong. "It's been a long time." The confrontation. Victoria looked between them, confused. "Ethan? Who is this?" Maya smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile.
I'm Maya Richards.
"Perhaps Ethan forgot to mention me? I was his fiancée 5 years ago. The one he left at the altar." The people around them went silent. Someone gasped. Victoria's face turned red. "Maya," Ethan finally said. His voice was rough. "What are you doing here?" "I came to celebrate, of course. I heard you were getting engaged. Congratulations." She raised her champagne glass. "I also came to discuss business." "Business?" Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Yes, you see, I own 45% of Cross Enterprises. I have all the legal documents to prove it. Those papers you had me sign years ago, they're still valid." Ethan's face went from white to gray. "That's impossible." She made sure everything was perfect. And now, finally, she was ready. Walking into the lion's den, Maya entered the ballroom. A waiter offered her champagne. She took it and looked around. The room was full of rich, powerful people. They were all here to celebrate Ethan's new engagement. And there he was. Ethan Cross stood near the center of the room. He was even more handsome than she remembered. His black suit fit him perfectly. His dark hair was styled back. His strong jaw and deep blue eyes made him look like he belonged on a magazine cover. Next to him stood Victoria Stone. Tall, blonde, perfect. Maya's heart beat faster, but not from love. From anger. From the need to make him pay. She walked straight toward them. People moved out of her way. Some recognized her and gasped. Others just stared at her beauty. Ethan was laughing at something Victoria said. Then his friend James touched his arm and pointed at Maya. Ethan turned. His face went completely white. The champagne glass in his hand almost fell. For a moment he couldn't speak. He just stared at her like he was seeing a ghost. "Hello, Ethan," Maya said. Her voice was calm and strong. "It's been a long time." The confrontation. Victoria looked between them, confused. "Ethan? Who is this?" Maya smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile.
I'm Maya Richards.
"Perhaps Ethan forgot to mention me? I was his fiancée 5 years ago. The one he left at the altar." The people around them went silent. Someone gasped. Victoria's face turned red. "Maya," Ethan finally said. His voice was rough. "What are you doing here?" "I came to celebrate, of course. I heard you were getting engaged. Congratulations." She raised her champagne glass. "I also came to discuss business." "Business?" Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Yes, you see, I own 45% of Cross Enterprises. I have all the legal documents to prove it. Those papers you had me sign years ago, they're still valid." Ethan's face went from white to gray. "That's impossible." "It's very possible. My lawyers confirmed it yesterday. I sent the official notice to your office this morning. You should receive it by Monday." Maya took a sip of her champagne. "We're partners now, Ethan. Isn't that wonderful?" The people around them were now openly listening. This was the most interesting gossip they'd heard in years. Victoria grabbed Ethan's arm. "Ethan, tell her this is ridiculous." But Ethan couldn't speak. He knew Maya was telling the truth. He could see it in her eyes. The shy, sweet girl he knew was gone. This woman was dangerous. Maya continued, "I have a proposition for you. We work together for 6 months. I'll take an active role in running the company. After 6 months, if you want me gone, you can buy my shares. But it will cost you $3 billion. $3 billion.
Victoria Srieked.
That's insane. That's business, Maya said coldly. She looked only at Ethan. Or, if you prefer, I can sell my shares to Marcus Black. I'm sure your biggest rival would love to own half your company. Ethan's jaw clenched. Marcus Black had been trying to destroy Cross Enterprises for years. If he got Maya's shares, Ethan would lose everything. You wouldn't, Ethan said. Try me. Maya's eyes were like stone. You disappeared from my life without a word. You made me look like a fool in front of everyone I knew. Did you think there would be no consequences? The deal. For a long moment, Ethan just looked at her. Maya could see his mind working, trying to find a way out. But there was none. She had him trapped. Fine, he said finally. 6 months. But we do this professionally. No games. Maya laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. Oh, Ethan, this entire thing is a game. And I'm much better at it now than I was 5 years ago. She set down her champagne glass and walked away. Every eye in the room followed her. She could feel Ethan watching her back. She could feel his shock, his confusion, his anger. Good. Let him feel it. Let him wonder. Let him hurt. As Maya left the ballroom, she allowed herself a small, real smile. This was just the beginning. She had waited 5 years for this moment. She had built herself into someone strong, someone powerful, someone who couldn't be broken. Ethan Cross had destroyed the old Maya, but the new Maya was going to make him regret it. The sleepless night. That night, Maya lay in her luxury apartment. She couldn't sleep. She kept seeing Ethan's face. The shock, the confusion, the way he looked at her like she was a stranger. Good. That's exactly what she wanted. But there was something else in his eyes too. Something she didn't expect. Pain. Old pain that looked like it had never healed. Maya shook her head. No, she wouldn't feel sorry for him. He made his choice 5 years ago. He left her without any explanation. He broke her heart into pieces. Her phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number. We need to talk, please. Maya stared at the message for a long time. Then she deleted it without responding. Ethan Cross wanted to talk? He had 5 years to talk. Now it was her turn to stay silent. Now it was her turn to make him feel what abandonment felt like. She turned off her phone and closed her eyes. Tomorrow her real revenge would begin. Tomorrow she would walk into his office as an equal, as a partner, as someone he couldn't ignore or erase. The old Maya died 5 years ago in a church full of flowers and broken dreams. The new Maya was born from that pain. And she was unstoppable. Monday morning. Monday came quickly. Maya dressed in a sharp black business suit. She pulled her hair back into a perfect bun. She looked in the mirror. The woman looking back at her was powerful, confident, and ready for war. She arrived at Cross Enterprises at exactly 9 o'clock. The building was a tower of glass and steel, reaching up into the sky like a monument to success. Once Maya had dreamed of visiting Ethan here. She imagined him showing her his office, introducing her as his wife. Now she was here as his worst nightmare. The receptionist looked nervous. Miss Richards? Mr. Cross is expecting you. Top floor. Maya rode the elevator up. Her heart was pounding, but her face showed nothing. The doors opened to a huge office space. Glass walls, modern furniture, everything perfect and cold. Ethan's assistant, a young man named Peter, stood waiting. This way, please. He led her to the biggest office she had ever seen. One entire wall was windows showing the whole city below. A massive desk sat in the center, and behind it stood Ethan. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept well. Good. Maya, he said. Please sit down. We need to talk. Yes, we do, Maya said. She sat down and crossed her legs. Let's discuss how this partnership is going to work. Ethan sat down across from her. For a moment, they just looked at each other. 5 years of silence stretched between them. 5 years of questions. 5 years of pain. Why? Ethan finally asked. His voice was quiet. Why are you really doing this? Maya smiled. It was a smile that didn't reach her eyes. You really have to ask? You left me, Ethan. You destroyed me. Now it's my turn. Maya, if you just let me explain. Explain. Maya's voice turned hard. You had 5 years to explain. You chose silence. Now I choose revenge. She pulled out a folder from her bag and slid it across the desk. Here are my conditions. I want an office next to yours. I want access to all company files. I want to approve all major decisions. For the next 6 months, we're equals, partners, and you're going to watch me take everything you didn't think I was smart enough to understand. Ethan picked up the folder. His hands were shaking slightly. You've changed. Yes, Maya said. I had to. The girl you left behind was weak. She thought love was enough. She was wrong. Now I know better. Power is all that matters. I never thought you were weak, Ethan said softly. And I never stopped. Don't, Maya interrupted. Don't you dare say you never stopped loving me. Love doesn't abandon people. Love doesn't destroy them and walk away. She stood up. I'll start tomorrow. Have my office ready. As she walked toward the door, Ethan called out, Maya, wait. There's something you need to know. Something that happened 5 years ago. I didn't want to leave you. I was. Save it, Maya said without turning around. I don't care anymore. But as she walked out, her hands were shaking. Because that was a lie. A part of her, the part she tried so hard to kill, still cared. Still wanted to know why. And that was the most dangerous thing of all. The game of hearts. The first day of war. Maya's new office was right next to Ethan's. It had the same glass walls, the same view of the city, the same cold luxury. But Maya made it her own. She hung paintings of strong women. She put family photos on her desk, reminders of who she was fighting for. On her first official day, she arrived at 7 in the morning. She wanted to be there before Ethan. She wanted him to know she was serious. At 8 o'clock, Ethan walked past her office. He stopped and stared. Maya was already working, reading through company files on her computer. She looked up and gave him a cold smile. Good morning, partner, she said. Ethan's jaw tightened. Good morning. We have a board meeting at 9. I know. I read the schedule. Maya stood up. She wore a dark blue power suit that made her look like she owned the world. I have some questions about the Anderson deal. The numbers don't add up. Ethan looked surprised. You went through the Anderson file already? I went through 12 files last night. The Anderson deal is risky.
Imbuting no.
You can't just. I can. I own 45%, remember? My vote matters. Maya walked past him toward the conference room. Shall we? The board meeting. The boardroom was full of old men in expensive suits. They were Ethan's allies, his friends, people who had worked with him for years. When Maya walked in, they all stared. Gentlemen, Ethan said, his voice tight. This is Maya Richards. She's our new partner and will be attending all board meetings. An old man with gray hair spoke up. Partner? Ethan, what is this about? Maya sat down at the table. It's simple, Mr. Thompson. I own 45% of this company. That makes me a major shareholder and decision-maker. I'm here to protect my investment. Another man laughed. You? What do you know about running a billion-dollar company? Maya smiled sweetly. More than you think. For example, I know that you, Mr. Harrison, tried to push through a deal with Chun Industries last month. The same Chun Industries that's being investigated for fraud. If that deal had gone through, this company could have lost millions and faced legal problems. Mr. Harrison's face turned red. The room went silent. Ethan stared at her. How did you know about that? I do my research. Maya opened her laptop. Now let's discuss the Anderson deal. I've prepared a full analysis of why it's a bad investment. For the next hour, Maya presented facts, numbers, and predictions. She had done her homework. Every man in that room had to admit. She was smart, really smart. When the meeting ended, they voted. The Anderson deal was rejected. It was Maya's first victory. As everyone left, Ethan stayed behind. "That was impressive," he said quietly. "I'm not here to impress you," Maya replied. "I'm here to protect my interests." "Is that all this is? Business?" Maya looked at him. For a moment, something passed between them, a memory of who they used to be, but Maya pushed it away. "What else would it be?" she said coldly and walked out. Small acts of revenge. Over the next few weeks, Maya made Ethan's life difficult in small ways. She questioned every decision. She made him explain every choice. She forced him to work harder than he ever had before. When Ethan wanted to hire a new marketing director, Maya interviewed all the candidates herself. She chose someone different from who Ethan wanted. When Ethan planned a company party, Maya changed the venue to somewhere cheaper and donated the saved money to charity, in both their names. Every little change was a reminder. She had power now. He couldn't control her. But the hardest part wasn't the business fights. It was being near him every day. Maya would catch herself watching him during meetings. She noticed he still drank his coffee black with one sugar. He still ran his hand through his hair when he was stressed. He still had that small scar above his left eyebrow from when he fell off his bike as a kid. He had told her that story on their third date. And sometimes, she caught him watching her too. His blue eyes would follow her across the room. When their hands accidentally touched while reaching for the same document, electricity shot through her. They both pulled away quickly, but the feeling stayed. This was dangerous. Maya couldn't let herself feel anything for him. Not again. The late night. One evening, Maya was working late. It was almost midnight. Everyone had gone home except her. She was reviewing contracts, looking for any advantage she could find. She heard footsteps. Ethan appeared in her doorway. "You're still here," he said. "So are you. I saw your office light on. I thought." He paused. "Do you want some coffee?" Maya wanted to say no, but she was tired and coffee sounded good. "Fine." They went to the office kitchen. Ethan made coffee while Maya sat at the small table. It felt strange and familiar at the same time. They used to do this, sit together late at night talking about everything and nothing. "Maya," Ethan said, handing her a cup, "can we please talk? Really talk. About what? About what happened. About why I left." He sat down across from her. His face looked tired and sad. "You think I wanted to hurt you, but I didn't. I had no choice." "Everyone has choices," Maya said. "Not when someone you love is in danger." Maya's heart stopped. "What?" Ethan took a deep breath. 3 days before our wedding, I got a call. Someone had kidnapped my sister, Sarah. Maya remembered Sarah. Sweet, kind Sarah who was like a little sister to her too. "They sent me a video," Ethan continued. His voice shook. "Sarah was tied to a chair. She was crying. They said if I married you, they would kill her. They said if I told anyone, police, you, anyone, they would kill her. The only way to save her life was to disappear from your life completely." Maya felt like she couldn't breathe.
No.
That's not possible. "I'm telling you the truth." Ethan pulled out his phone. He showed her old messages, photos, evidence. "I had to choose between you and my sister's life. What would you have done?" Tears filled Maya's eyes. All these years, she thought he stopped loving her. She thought she wasn't enough. But he was protecting his sister? "Why didn't you tell me after?" she whispered. "After Sarah was safe. Why didn't you explain?" "I tried," Ethan said. "But they said if I ever contacted you again, they'd come back. They'd hurt you this time. Couldn't risk it. So I stayed away. I tried to move on. I tried to forget. But I never could." He reached across the table and took her hand. Maya knew she should pull away, but she couldn't. "I thought about you every single day," Ethan said. "Every single day. Leaving you was the hardest thing I ever did. It destroyed me too." The crack in the wall. Maya pulled her hand away and stood up. "I need to think. This is too much." She walked back to her office. Her mind was spinning. If what Ethan said was true, and the evidence looked real, then everything changed. He didn't abandon her because he stopped loving her. He did it to save his sister. But 5 years of pain didn't disappear that easily. 5 years of thinking she wasn't good enough. 5 years of building walls around her heart. Maya sat at her desk and cried. Real tears this time. Not tears of anger but tears of confusion. She didn't know what to feel anymore. Victoria's plan. While Maya was learning the truth, Victoria Stone was making her own plans. She knew about Maya now. She knew about the history between Maya and Ethan. And she didn't like it one bit. Victoria met with a man in a dark restaurant. His name was Marcus Black, Ethan's biggest business rival. I want her gone, Victoria said. This Maya woman. She's ruining everything. Marcus smiled. He was a dangerous man with cold eyes. I can help you, but it will cost you. Name your price. Help me destroy Ethan Cross. Give me inside information about his company. In return, I'll make sure Maya Richards is discredited and ruined. Victoria thought about it. She didn't love Ethan. She loved his money and power. If she had to betray him to keep her position, she would. Deal, she said. The closeness. The next few weeks were confusing for Maya. She continued working with Ethan, but everything felt different now. She watched him with new eyes. She saw the pain he carried. She saw how hard he tried to respect her boundaries while clearly wanting to be closer. One afternoon, they were working together on a presentation. They had to stand close, looking at the same screen. Maya could smell his cologne, the same one he wore 5 years ago. Move this graph here, Maya said, pointing. Ethan reached to adjust it. His arm brushed against hers. Neither of them moved away. Maya, he said softly. She looked up at him. He was so close. His blue eyes looked into hers with an intensity that made her heart race. I never stopped loving you, he whispered. Don't, Maya said, but her voice was weak. It's the truth. All these years, it was always you. Maya's walls were cracking. She tried to hold onto her anger, her need for revenge. But standing this close to him, feeling the pull between them, it was so hard. You hurt me, she said. Tears filled her eyes. You broke me. I know. And I'm so sorry. I would take it all back if I could. Ethan lifted his hand slowly, giving her time to move away. When she didn't, he gently touched her face. Tell me you don't feel this. Tell me you feel nothing and I'll stop. I'll let you go. Maya closed her eyes. She felt everything. The love she tried to kill. The connection that never died. The pull toward him that was stronger than her anger. But she was scared. So scared. I can't, she whispered. I can't go through that pain again. You won't have to. I swear it. Ethan moved closer. Let me prove it to you. Let me show you that I never stopped being yours. The kiss. Maya should have walked away. She should have remembered her plan, her revenge, her walls. But she was tired of being angry. Tired of being alone. Tired of pretending she didn't still love him. When Ethan kissed her, 5 years of pain and longing exploded between them. Maya kissed him back with everything she had. It was desperate and passionate and full of all the words they never said. They broke apart, both breathing hard. This doesn't mean I forgive you, Maya said. I know. I'm still angry. I know. This is complicated. I know. Ethan smiled, really smiled, for the first time in years. But we have time to figure it out. Maya wanted to believe him, but a small voice in her head warned her to be careful. Love had destroyed her once. Could she really trust it again? The evidence. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about everything Ethan told her. About Sarah's kidnapping. About the threats. Something bothered her. Ethan said they threatened him. Who were they? He never said. Maya got up and went to her home office. She started researching. She looked up news from 5 years ago. She searched for any information about kidnappings, threats, anything. And then she found something. A small news article from 6 years ago. It mentioned Victoria Stone's father, a man with connections to organized crime. A man who died 2 years ago under mysterious circumstances. Maya's blood ran cold. Could Victoria be involved in what happened to Sarah? She dug deeper. She used her business connections to access private records. And she found it. A bank transfer from Victoria's account to an unknown recipient. The date? 2 days before Maya and Ethan's wedding. Maya's hands shook as she printed the evidence. Victoria wasn't just Ethan's new fiancée. She was the one behind everything. She orchestrated Sarah's kidnapping to break up Ethan and Maya. But why? What did she gain? Then Maya remembered something. 5 years ago, Ethan's father had just died. The company was vulnerable. If Ethan was distracted by personal drama, if he was broken and weak, it would be easy for someone to manipulate him. Victoria didn't love Ethan. She wanted his company, his power, his money, and she destroyed Maya's life to get it. Rage filled Maya, not the cold, calculated anger she'd felt before. This was hot and fierce. This woman had taken everything from her, and now she was going to pay. The confrontation set up. The next morning, Maya walked into Ethan's office. "We need to talk. About Victoria." Ethan looked up from his desk. "What about her?" Maya closed the door and locked it. She put the evidence on his desk. "She's the one who had Sarah kidnapped." Ethan's face went white. "What? Look at this. Bank transfers. Connections to the men who took Sarah. It's all here." Maya's voice shook with anger. "She did this to break us up, so she could get close to you, so she could control you." Ethan read through the papers. His hands started shaking. Then he slammed his fist on the desk. How could? "I'm going to." "No," Maya said firmly. "We're going to handle this smart. We're going to make her confess. And then we're going to destroy her the same way she tried to destroy us." Ethan looked at Maya. In her eyes, he saw the woman he fell in love with, strong, determined, and now fighting beside him instead of against him. "Together?" he asked. "Together," Maya agreed. For the first time since her return, they weren't enemies. They weren't just business partners. They were allies united against a common enemy. And Victoria Stone had no idea what was coming for her. The plan. Maya and Ethan spent the whole day planning. They would invite Victoria to the office tonight. They would confront her with the evidence. But they needed her to confess on record. "I'll wear a wire," Ethan said. "Get her to admit everything." "She's smart," Maya warned. "She won't confess easily. Then we make her angry. Angry people make mistakes." Maya smiled. It was a dangerous smile. "I can make her angry." As evening came, everything was ready. Ethan called Victoria and asked her to come to the office. He said they needed to discuss wedding plans. Maya hid in the next room, listening through a speaker. Her heart pounded. This was it. The moment of truth. Victoria arrived, looking beautiful and confident. She had no idea this was a trap. "Darling," she said, kissing Ethan's cheek. "What's so urgent?" Ethan's smile was cold. "We need to talk about Sarah. About what happened 5 years ago." Victoria's smile froze. "What about it?" "I know, Victoria. I know everything." "I don't know what you mean," she said, but her voice was shaky. Maya stepped out from the next room. Victoria's face went pale. "Hello, Victoria," Maya said. "Let's talk about how you destroyed my life." The final confrontation was about to begin. Love's redemption. The truth comes out. Victoria stood frozen in the office. Her perfect mask was cracking. She looked between Maya and Ethan, her mind racing for an escape. "I don't know what you're talking about," Victoria said, trying to sound calm. "What is this woman doing here, Ethan? I thought she was just a business partner." Maya stepped closer. "Stop lying. We know everything. We know about the money you paid to those criminals. We know you had Sarah kidnapped. We know you destroyed my life so you could have Ethan." Victoria's face turned red. "That's ridiculous. You have no proof." Ethan pulled out the papers Maya had found. "Bank transfers from your account. Phone records. Witness statements. We have everything, Victoria. Those could be fake." Victoria's voice was getting higher, more desperate. "They're not fake," Maya said calmly. I traced every transaction. I found the men you hired. One of them kept records. He's ready to testify against you. Victoria's eyes went wide with fear. Then, suddenly, her expression changed. The fear turned to rage. She laughed. A cold, bitter sound. You think you're so smart, Victoria hissed. Both of you. Yes, I did it. I had that stupid girl kidnapped. I threatened Ethan. I destroyed your pathetic little love story. And you know what? I'd do it again. Ethan's fists clenched. Why? What did we ever do to you? Do to me? Victoria's voice was full of venom. 5 years ago, my father's business was failing. We were going to lose everything. But I knew Ethan Cross, the young, heartbroken billionaire, would be easy to manipulate. All I had to do was get rid of the competition. She pointed at Maya. You were in the way, so I hired people to take Sarah. I wrote the threats. I made Ethan so scared and broken that he couldn't think straight. And then I swooped in to help him, to comfort him. Within 6 months, he was dependent on me. I never loved you, Ethan said quietly.